let's get into these NBA firers. Let's start with the Phoenix Suns. They fired Mike Budenholzer after a terrible year. I think they went 36-46. Yeah, after a terrible year. KD was hurt most of the year. Bradley Beal was hurt most of the year. Devin Booker was there, but the team construction just wasn't good. I mean, I'll start this time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of shocked they fired him because the only reason I'm shocked is because I've always said to myself, I'm like, there's no way they fire this man after you just fired Monty Williams, then you fire Frank Vogel, then you go fire Mike Budenholzer. It's like you're paying almost 3 coaches. Now you go pay a 4th head coach. It's just like that's bad management. That's really bad management on Matt Ishbia's part. And I mean, I get it. Like, if you got the opportunity to go get Kevin Durant, I have no problem with that. You go after. You go get that guy. And I don't have no problem with like them even saying go after Bradley Beal. It's just maybe if there was more basketball minds in there, they probably would have said, this probably ain't the greatest fit with Booker, Beal, and Kevin Durant on the same court. You probably should have gone after, say, a legit good point guard, hypothetically Chris Paul or something. Like, they could have did that, but the roster construction was bad. I think Mike Budenholzer lost the locker room. It was reports saying that Bradley Beal told him to be Drew Holiday. Then he had fits with Devin Booker. So it's like he just lost the locker room. And at that point, you just got to get rid of the man. But I was kind of shocked they fired him because you already paying a lot of coaches a lot of money. Now you're going to be paying 3 head coaches money. And I saw that Mike Budenholzer, if he doesn't like coach, he's getting $10 million a year to do nothing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on the
Yeah, I
couch.
would say I was shocked by it too. I didn't think they was gonna fire him after his first year, but after I seen the reports of him and Devin Booker getting into it, and him and KD not really seeing eye to eye, and then the whole Drew Holiday telling Bill to be like Drew Holiday, I was like, yeah, he got to go after that. But James Jones is still their GM, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so like they got some basketball minds over there. I don't know if Budenholzer was the right coach. Because like I was watching Jeff T's podcast 520, and he was talking about how Budenholzer was one of them type of guys where like he needs a bunch of like nobodies on his team to coach. You know what I mean? So like when he coached that Hawks team and they played really well, like that was the type of team that he needed because it wasn't a superstar, so everybody had to buy in and do different stuff, and sacrifice for the team. Whereas when he with the Suns, he's having Bradley Beal to be like Drew Holiday, and Bradley Beal like, man, what? Drew Holiday? No, our games are nowhere near similar, and I'm not the defender Drew Holiday is. So, yeah, I was surprised that they fired him after year 1. I thought they would at least gave him another year and then let him go. But yeah, after all those reports came out, it wasn't shocking.
Do you think when he told him be like Drew Holiday, did you think he told him to be like Drew Holiday, or you think be Drew Holiday like sacrifice?
Both like sacrifice defensive. I think he wouldn't be to be like Drew Holiday defensive wise and like sacrificing, swinging the ball more to KD, getting KD and Book more involved. That's what I think he meant by being more like Drew.
And I know you said James Jones, but maybe this was a Matt Ishbia thing. I think he wanted like these star players. He's like, hey man, we got these star players. We can win. We could potentially win. But it's like y'all was good last year, got smacked in the first round, then y'all was worse. It's like, come on, what we doing? And Mike Budenholzer, okay, he said that he needs a bunch of nobodies, but he had Giannis, and if you want to say, like, if not you, but if somebody says like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton was stars, he had like 3 stars on his team, and they won. They won
I
a
mean,
championship.
but they bought in though. They bought in. I think, and then
Mm.
on top of that, they had Drew. Drew's a really people respect Drew. So if Drew's buying in, I feel like everybody else is gonna fall in line because he got that respect in the locker room. But remember we thought Tyus Jones was gonna be a good pickup for them. That wasn't it. That he wasn't a good pickup for them at all. I think them trading away Aiden hurt them a lot. I
I
think that hurt
said
them a
that.
lot.
I said that. I said, bro, they chose Monty Williams over Aiden. That's basically what they did. And usually that doesn't happen sometimes. Usually it's the player that stays and the coach goes. That's how it
Hmm.
usually is. But I think Monty Williams' reputation kind of kept him there. especially since you got Kevin Durant. You know, because Kevin Durant got there for that half year, then they fired Monty Williams. I think. No, am I right? No, it was the next year. Because when him and Aiden got into that argument, Aiden was still there. Okay, yes, okay, I got it right. I'm just like I said, I'm only shocked because you already got a lot of coaches you got to pay. Because I remember when they signed, I'm like, man, they giving Bud the bag. Now he at home with the bag, just chilling. I ain't coaching. I'm gonna be a Monty Williams. Get that money from Detroit. Y'all never see me ever again in NBA. I'm gonna go coach high school. Get this and still chill. Like, it's just bad. It's bad on their part, man. It's bad organization. Now they're stuck. Now they got to trade Kevin Durant. You got to convince Bradley Beal to at least say, waive your no trade clause, brother. Like, now, like, low-key, the Suns are stuck in no man's land. I don't think they're in no man's land. They're just stuck. They can't do anything. They really can't. But I'm shocked about the firing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked about the fire. But
I mean, they say it was reports KD linked to Houston now. So if they trade KD to Houston, they can get some pieces back, and they won't be in a total rebuild for real. But they can get some pieces back.
I keep hearing Dallas. I know we did the trade thing with Dallas. I don't think Dallas has good picks, and honestly, I don't think they got nowhere near as good players on Dallas than the Rockets do.
The Rockets, yeah.
I think the Rockets actually the best choice. Like, you could say the Heat, but
Spurs.
It's like,
remember we said the Spurs.
We did say the Spurs. They have that's another team. I would say the Spurs and the Rockets have the pieces and the picks. But the Heat is like, why would I trade if I do gotta give up Tyler Hero? That kind of defeats the purpose of trade Tyler Hero for KD. So it's just KD, Bam, and some role players. Like, why would I do that? Like, we still the same technically. I want all three of them to be on the same team at least. So that doesn't make sense. The Mavericks, I get that, but it's like your only legit good asset, well, player wise, is probably PJ Washington. We being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But at least on the Rockets, you could throw in somewhat Jalen Green, you throw Jabari, you throw Tari Eason, you throw Cam Whitmore in there.
Yeah.
So it's like
Reed Shepard if you want.
Yeah. So we can probably even throw in Fred VanVleet, pick up that option, throw him in there. So like you can do a lot of stuff with them. But yeah, I'm shocked. I'm just shocked at trade. I mean, not trade, the fire, but let's go with the firing of David Griffin on the Pelicans. After a bad year with injuries, the Pelicans fired David Griffin and are hiring Joe Dumars. I'm not going to lie. Me personally, David Griffin is just the fall guy.
Yeah.
He's the fall guy.
No, for sure the fall guy.
He's definitely the fall guy.
The fall guy.
I've always said I never thought Willie Green was going to get fired only because of injuries, but David Griffin is definitely the fall guy. Like, I think David Griffin has drafted pretty good. I can't help that these players are hurt. That's not my fault. That's literally not my fault. Now, we can't sign players. That's different. Y'all don't sign players because no one goes there, so I get it. But you traded for DeJounte. At the time, was a good pickup. He just tore his Achilles. That's a freak accident. Zion. I didn't know that Zion was going to get hurt every other year. I didn't know that. I traded for CJ McCollum, who's been a good player for you guys. Drafted Herb, trade. Misi. I traded for those guys. They've been good. Everybody just been hurt.
Jordan Hawkins. Hawkins is decent. They got Jose. Jose out. He's nice.
Jordan Hawkins.
They got some pieces.
He's still a mystery. Jordan Hawkins is still a mystery. But yeah, man, like, I can't help that. So they had to fire somebody. It's like, we had a bad year. We got to get rid of somebody. So they got rid of David Griffin, hiring Joe Dumars. And now they're saying Joe Dumars has to basically get rid of Zion. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen it.
He has to come in and trade Zion. But what's your take on David Griffin getting fired?
I mean, well, I don't think David Griffin, deserved to get fired. I think he's 209 and 260. So he's 209 and 263 in 6 seasons there. So he doesn't have a winning record as a GM, and he's only been to the playoffs 2 times. So I think that's another that's the evidence that they can use to fire him. But like you said, my best players have been injured ever since I've got here. Between Brandon Ingram and Zion, one of them was always hurt. You know what I mean? So you can't really blame Willie Green or David Griffin for their records because their best players was never available. They had to work with what they had. But yeah, I think Joe Dumars is going to come in there and he's gonna fire Willie Green. I don't think they should trade Zion though. I think they should keep Zion and they should try to bring some more pieces in and build around him.
It says among the favorites. This all basketball forever. Shout out to them. It's just the Hornets, the Heat, the Pistons, and the Warriors. If I'm the Pistons, I'm going after Zion. I want Cade and Zion on the same team. That's who I want.
Zion, you gotta give up Ivy. Ivy gotta go.
That's cool. That's cool.
So what? Zion, and Durant and Asor, and what? Malik Beasley.
Well, Malik Beasley is a free agent, but there's a chance they might resign.
They gotta sign. They gotta sign him. They have to.
You could throw Ron Holland in there. But I'm thinking only because they already have a lot of like kind of forwards on the Pelicans with Trey Murphy and Herb. It's like, do we really need that? But you might throw him in there, kind of to make the money work. And Zion has his contract isn't the greatest only because like he's overweight. So he gotta like, unless he like is in a certain way, the contract will be guaranteed. So it's like you kind of in like you low key in a win-wins. Like if we trade him, cool. And if he don't work out, the contract not guaranteed anyway. So it's like we're good. But the Heat, I don't even know who they're giving up. I don't even know who the Heat would give up.
Because they're gonna want to. I wouldn't say a lot for Zion, but they're gonna want at least some first round draft picks back for Zion, and they don't even got that.
The Warriors, Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, Zion.
They ain't got enough to give up for Zion either, unless you give up Kuminga.
Hey man, look, they might low key got the pieces. Hey, you throw Kuminga in there. We got to throw Buddy Hield in there.
We got to keep pods.
We throw Buddy Hield in there because he got the contract somewhat. Could throw Moses Mooney in there. We could throw him.
If you the Pelicans, you taking Moses Mooney? I mean, you already got Herb Jones and Trey. What you need him for?
He could play my two.
Okay.
He could play
but you got CJ.
Well, CJ older.
But you gonna trade him too?
Probably. Unless y'all, it's like, well, we trade Zion. We already damn near going in rebuild. Damn near. Like he's our best player. Like, and DeJounte ain't coming back no time soon towards Achilles. So it's like low key, if we trade Zion, we're going into rebuild. We're going into a rebuild. So yeah, I'll do it. Now the Hornets, I ain't gonna lie, that unserious ass team, bro. That team.
Hey, that'd be with him and LaMelo though. That'd be you. Miles Bridges gotta go. You gotta keep Brandon Miller and LaMelo for sure, and Mark Williams for sure. Bridges gotta go.
LaMelo, Zion, Brandon Miller, and a top pick. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's like, what are we though? Are we playing? Now, if everybody is healthy, we gotta remember that you got two injury dudes. You said they what?
They should at least be a play-in if Zion. At least they should at least be a play-in.
Now we got two of the most injury-prone players in the league on the same team, bro. I'd rather go to the Pistons, bro. If Zion is on the Pistons, where do you put them at?
They still a top. I think they still a top 16. I wouldn't put them over the Bucks.
Could they fight for fourth in the East? I think they could. I think they could fight for fourth.
I mean, that they would have to be better than they could be better than the Pacers for sure. Yeah, they could definitely be. But I don't know. Are they better than the Bucks?
Well, what are the Bucks now?
I mean, now with no Dame, yeah, they'd be better than the Bucks. But with Dame, are they still better than the Bucks, or are they about the same?
I would say the Bucks are better, I don't think they clears them. I don't think they clear them. I'll say that. I don't think the Bucks
Um,
clear them.
but Zion, they'll still definitely be a top 16 for sure, though. I feel like it'd be solidified if they had, because like right now, if Paulo wasn't injured the entire majority of the season, and if Franz didn't get hurt, we think that the Magic probably would have been a top 16 in the
Yeah,
East. So
easily.
so yeah, but I think they'll comfortably be a top 16 if they get Zion.
Easily. So the last firing that we really got is the Sacramento Kings. They fired their general manager literally after they just sold in the playing game yesterday, which is crazy. You fire them as the minute you lose. But me personally, I don't know. Like, what's the he probably the fall guy too. Well, you did trade De'Aaron Fox and technically didn't get no younger player back, so technically it was kind of bad, I guess. You got back Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine is older. Like, this team is kind of old, but somewhat got some young players, but it's like they're in no direction. They're in no man's land. I don't know what they're doing, but firing the general manager right after the game was actually kind of crazy to me. You could at least give him a day. Could at least
To
give
be
him a day.
honest, I don't think they should have fired him. He was just the exec of the year, like 2 years ago in
That
2023.
was
He
him when
won
they won
exec
them
of the year.
when they won all them games. He was the
Yeah,
executive. Oh, for
yeah,
real?
he was
Damn.
exec of the year. You know what I
Damn, I didn't know
mean?
that.
And he's been there. He's been there for 5 seasons. He's made the playoffs twice. He's 195 and to 205, so he's 10 games under 500. I don't think this was really his fault. I don't think he should have got fired. I think they just need a different coach. To be honest, you fired Mike Brown middle of the season, and then now you got Max Christie, and it was just a lot of turmoil there. So I don't think he should have got fired.
Man, he's just another fall guy, bro. Kings had an underwhelming season. They've been bad. You gotta fire somebody, bro. It happens in sports all the time. Somebody got to be the fall guy, like Nico Harrison. Now, I'm starting to think Nico didn't do the trade himself. I think it was management that told him to trade Luka at this point. It's just Nico just taking all the shots. He literally just taking all the bullets. So you need a fall guy. You need somebody to take all them bullets for everybody. But that's really it for all the firings. I think that was it in the last week or so.